So when in the 70s, I was a nurse. I worked on the open heart unit at Vancouver General Hospital, and I met this dashing physician, anaesthetist, who happened to be from Trinidad, and he swept me off my feet. And so we started going out and got engaged and got married, and much to probably at that time, probably horror of my parents. Nothing to do with him personally, but the fact that he was black was absolutely something that they had a very difficult time coming to grips with. And in fact, for the first 2 years of our marriage, I was persona non grata. There was no relationship. I didn't exist. And as I say, it wasn't so much, it wasn't about him, because they recognized that he was a well-educated, brilliant man, but they worried about the impact that being a mixed marriage would have on our children. And certainly in the 70s, there just was a lot of discrimination. So absolutely, did I feel that discrimination? Absolutely, absolutely.
How did you feel it? Was it overt, or was it just like in looks, kind of gazes?
It was both. In looks, it would be walking down the street, and I think it's interesting for me to say this because I'm at the age that I would have experienced this from middle-aged white women. Just the looks and the dirty looks and the just like, it was almost like, oh my gosh, how could you, sort of thing. And in the States, it was definitely it was right out there. And in that, but interestingly enough, it wasn't so much discrimination on the part of Caucasians. It was actually discrimination on the part of blacks. So black women were calling me white nigger, that kind of thing. So it worked, it worked both ways. When my parents finally did come round, they phoned us on this day that we were actually having an open house for our friends around Christmas time. And there was about 125 people in the house. And the phone rang, and it was my dad. And he just said, hi, and I'm just like, wow, hi. And he said, your mother and I were wondering if we could come over and see you. And I said, well, sure, but yeah, please come now. And we're having a party, but, please come over. And so they came over, and I think that was really good, because they walked into our home with 100 of our friends there, and they could see what they had worried about happening wasn't happening. We weren't kicked out. We weren't pariahs. We were a couple.